Hi everyone! I wanted to do a short demo of a game that I've discovered and I like it quite a bit called BAR, which stands for Beyond All Reason. BAR is a real-time strategy game, and if you've played any of them such as like StarCraft, Warcraft 1 or 2, Command and Conquer was a set of my favorites for a long time. This game is in a lot of aspects very similar, but it just takes a lot of those things to a whole different level, and I like it quite a bit. So I wanted to just walk you through how to build like a very basic base and get yourself through some of the tech tiers. When you load up a game and you're going to go play against opponents, it'll look something like this. So the green area, I can place what's called my commander anywhere within this green area. My opponent will place their commander anywhere within this red area. And if I zoom in fact, let's take a look around here. Yeah, I'll pick this spot up here. I was going to pick a different spot, but um, you'll see some of these nodes here, like these circles with numbers. Those are mines, or places that you can mine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by placing my starting location as right here. So I've left clicked. By the way, this is for PC only, at least it is at the moment. I think PC and Linux. And at the top here, this is my metal, so it starts me off with 1,000 metal and 1,000 energy. You need both of those to play this game. And if you run out of energy, things go a lot slower. If you run out of metal, things go a lot slower. But I've selected a spot for my commander. I'm just going to hit ready. I've chosen a real easy enemy just to demo some of this stuff for you guys.
Battle started.
But here, I'm going to select a mine, and I'm just going to left click. And if you ever get confused, the mine is under the economy tab. We have tabs that do a lot of different things. And if you select this, well, I guess I should point out, so now that I've built a mine, you'll notice that there's a +4 here. That means I'm getting +4 metal every second. And one of the things that I don't want to run out of is energy, and I do passively generate some energy. I think that's from my commander, you know, because you just don't want to hit 0. It'll make the game completely unplayable if you're just starting out. So what I've selected here is I've selected a solar collector. This is a solar panel, but you have a couple of different types of energy collectors at the very beginning. This would be a solar panel, this would be a wind turbine, and as I place these and they get built, you'll notice that I get more energy per second. And then you also notice that I have a -18. So when I have these different units that build, so these here are my drones that are flying around, they follow my commander, they help him build. And when they're building, that costs energy as well. So if I hover over this other node, I can right click onto it instead of going to this economy tab and selecting a mine unit and trying to place it. And my commander will walk over there, he'll place it. Now the goal of this game is to eliminate my enemy commander, but this is the basics of my economy. So now that you've seen me build a couple of buildings, I'm going to build a vehicle plant, and I'm just going to throw it right over there. And the initial units that you build in this are actually pretty weak, and of course you don't want your opponent building super strong units right at the get-go. And as it's being built, you can select this building, and it's got just a bunch of different types of units. Typically, in this video, I just want to show you how to get through these different tiers, so you can see how to get through, you know, your more powerful, stronger weapons. But you might notice I'm already burning through a lot of energy.
Need power.
So I have to manage my energy consumption. So I've built this construction unit, and if I go to its economy tab, you can see now I've got other units that can build more powerful, better economy or military type units. So here, because I'm struggling with power and I'm just burning through it so fast, I'm gonna tell my commander to assist. So the way that I did that is I selected my commander with a left click and then I right clicked on this other build unit, and now my commander's assisting. But you might notice that the energy is at 0, and that means they can't build very fast. It's slowed down how fast they're able to build. Now, because I've told my commander to assist, I can actually tell this to build another one of these. I'm going to hit shift after I've selected and click, and what that's done is queued up another solar energy collector to be built right after this one is finished. So you see they move right onto it. But now you can notice that I've got a lot more energy coming in. So I'm going to keep building these until I've got a positive energy flow. So I've selected, I'm hitting shift, and I'm going to place a couple of these. And I'm going to have my commander just keep on assisting in building these things until I max out my energy to the point that I'm not running out all the time. Okay, so now you can see I'm in the positive 200s, and it's able to build quite a bit faster. But you'll also notice that I'm running out of metal. I've only got like 5 metal, and my guys, because my commander just builds drones, the configuration I have it maxed out at 10, but now I'm out of metal to build with, so now it's going slow again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here, I'm going to right click on this mine with my commander, and I could do the same thing with this construction unit, but now you notice that I've got a very positive energy flow, and my commander is now trying to build this mine at the same time as this solar collector, and because I haven't managed my economy very well, both of these things are going somewhat slow. And I know that says, 10 seconds, but it's competing with another building, so it's actually going a little bit slower than what its timer says that it's going at. Okay, now these things have finished. I have an excess energy, and you don't always have like a ton of mine nodes around you, or maybe you don't want to expand out too far. It gives you too much that you have to protect yourself against. So I have this construction unit selected. If I go to my economy tab, I can build this energy converter. So right now, you'll see that I'm at a positive 10. And I'm going to tell my commander to also come help with this. So I've selected my commander by left clicking. I right click on the construction unit, and now my commander is going to assist in building this energy converter. Okay, and that made it build significantly faster at the cost of more energy, and I think we actually need a couple more of these if we're going to maintain. So I'm going to shift this time because I want to build multiples. I'm going to left click, and then I'm going to drag, and this will actually queue up multiples of these things, and whatever this construction unit builds, my commander is going to follow suit. And because my drones are copying what my commander does, they are going to also build that same thing. And you might notice that when my energy level was low, I wasn't getting extra metal, but now because my energy level is beyond this energy bar for my energy conversion, I was getting quite a bit more. And now we're not building anything, and now I'm practically maxing out. So now I'm going to select this unit. I'm going to go to build, and here we have this advanced vehicle plant. And I'm going to come place it over here, and my commander is just going to follow him, and we'll build it somewhat quickly now because they're doing it together. All of my units, and I'm maxed out on metal at the moment. So right now, looks like it's going to take 3 minutes to build, but with all of these other units assisting, it's going to take about
Low
10 or
power.
15 seconds. But you also might notice that I ran out of energy. And because I ran out of energy, it now needs to generate some extra metal. And then it generated some metal. Now my guys are using that energy to output. And so it's just doing this balancing game. So it takes it a little bit of time. But if you build your economy correctly, it can go really fast. So I'm going to left click on my commander and I'm going to right click on this over here. This is like a leftover structure, like ruins. And my commander was able to collect that. And you'll notice that that was able to significantly improve the build time of this advanced building. Okay, and you might notice that now we've got other units. These are significantly more powerful, better units. So I'm going to build a tier Tech 2 unit. And if I so desire, I can also tell my commander to assist, which I'm going to go ahead and do. Okay, and now this guy's finished. He just finished building. So I have a major power issue and I have a metal issue where I just can't build things efficiently or effectively. So I'm going to tell my guy here to start building this. And I'm going to tell this construction vehicle by left clicking and then right clicking on the advanced tier 2, I'm going to tell him to go assist. And while that's happening, I'm going to click on my commander and I'm going to go tell him to go build some mines. And that's going to eat up my energy pretty quickly. But the mine was finished pretty fast. And now I've got additional metal that's coming in. So I'm going to click up there, shift click so I can queue it all up and get one right after another. So this is all maintaining the economy. Kind of the boring part, I suppose. It's fun, but also boring at the same time. The fun part comes down when you start building up your units. So now I've got this mine that's been selected. And since I have this constructor that's assisting in building, I'm going to tell my advanced unit to actually stop working on this power plant. I'm going to tell them to come build a mine. And this is a tier 2 mine. And just watch what happens to my metal that's coming in when I finish building this tier 2 mine. Because right now you might notice that I'm at like a 23 currently. But when I upgrade one of these mines, it's going to go up. I don't know how much it's going to go up, but it's going to go up significantly. Alright, there we go. So now I'm at a whole 31. I'm at 31 metal that's coming in every second instead of the 18 that it was at before. I'm going to take this unit, I'm going to go do the same thing to the next one. So it's at 18, but now that I've got these guys assisting, it's going to drain my energy because they're all trying to assist in building. And now it's trying to play the balancing game of having energy, and I'm also out of metal, which is why it's not consuming all of the energy. And now you'll see that I'm up to like a 30, that looks like a 38. So now that I've got a lot more coming in, I'm going to tell my commander and the advanced construction unit to come assist in finishing this power plant, so we don't end up with this power problem anymore. And once again, we're kind of low on both energy and on metal. So I'm going to tell the advanced unit to come build a level 2 mine. He looks like he's stuck. He'll push my commander out of the way. I'm going to shift click and come click on the other one as well. And now looks like the power plant just finished. And because I told the construction vehicle to follow the tier 2, the construction vehicle is going to also follow it. And looks like my commander and his drones followed the tier 1. So now it's able to just build stuff super, super fast. Okay, so let's build a couple units just so you can kind of see what they are. So we'll build this missile truck, light artillery, and this is something that I highly recommend you guys just play with. I've selected this vehicle plant and I can select a waypoint. So now everything except for my construction vehicles will all go to that one waypoint when they come out. And if you feel like things are building slowly, or if you like have an excess of material and you want them to build faster, you can select your commander or any of your construction units, even your drones, and you can tell them to come assist in building these various vehicles. So when your opponent comes out and it tries to attack you, these units will be useful for you to protect your base. And you might notice that now that I have an excess of energy between my energy converters and my level 2 mines, I'm able to get a lot more, a lot faster. And this tier 2 guy can also build these level 2 energy converters, and it converts 600 energy into 10 metal. And I think that's at every second. Let me look. Yeah, per second. Here, I'll shift click. I'll queue up a second one.
You're wasting metal.
I don't know how I got that waypoint. I must have clicked or something to make him think that he needed to go there. So I'm not going to cover base defenses. This round was intentionally intended just to show you how to get up through your levels. So I built a level 1. Okay, that's this guy. This is your level 2, or I should say tier 1, tier 2. If you accidentally queue something up that you don't want queued, you can right click and it'll stop. Okay, notice what's going to happen here. Now we've built the extra energy converter, now we're up to 66. So that significantly strengthens our economy, and it looks like my construction unit's going to come build on this mine. I don't know how I told it to do that, but it did. We also have these other resources. This is a geothermal. So you can select one of your construction units and you can right click on it. And now this construction unit will come build power on this geothermal spot. So let's go ahead and get into our tier 3, and then I will probably build a couple units and then tell it to stop. So tier 3 is our experimental gantry. So you have to have a tier 2 construction unit to build your tier 3 units. These are your most powerful units that this game is going to produce. And no matter what tier or path you take to get here, so you can do the same thing with a bot lab. Bot lab builds different units.
Metal.
You also have, hovercraft platforms. You have, so you have hovercraft, and then you have naval hovercraft, and then you also have your shipyard. Funny enough, I discovered a couple of games ago that you can actually build your shipyards even when there's lava, which is interesting. But no matter what tier you follow, after you build tier 1, then tier 2, any of those should have some version of this gantry that you can build. So all of my guys building all at the same time is still draining a lot of my power. So I'm going to go ahead and... Where's my... Oh, there he is. I just couldn't see him. I'm going to tell this guy to build another power plant. I'm going to tell him to put it right there. And I just did a left click, so if I shift click, then it's going to queue it up as the next building. But I want him to go ahead and do that right now. And once again, because I'm low on power, I'm not getting the extra metal that's being built. And this power plant would take 4 minutes to build. Now that we've got all this extra help, it'll take 30 seconds provided that I have the energy and metal to build it. But I'm running out. So you can see that my timer shifts quite a bit. So now that we've got that up and running, now we have some different units that we can build here. We have our Titan, which I highly recommend as a unit. This Thor is pretty powerful. This Vanguard is really good for long range. And the Lunkhead is a tank. This guy is good for if you're like shooting land and air. And then this guy is for your amphibious, so if you want him to go take a swim in the lava, he should be able to handle that. Alright, so power plant, second power plant is finished. There are other power plants that you can build with this guy. I'm not going to cover them in this episode, but there's your advanced fusion reactor in case you're wondering. I did a right click to get out of that. My tier 1, and this is for this faction, I don't know about the other factions, but if I go into the build tab, I can build these construction turrets. And these construction turrets, if I place them down, will actually cause it's just like having a tier 1, but they can't place anything. All they can do is just build stuff. And so I can tell my construction unit to come build that, and because I'm impatient, I'm going to tell him to come help build this construction turret faster. So now it's going to go from 40 seconds to 3 seconds. And now these construction turrets will also help when they're building themselves, which is fun, makes it get done a lot faster. But you might notice that now I'm going through a lot more material, but this Titan has gone from 6 minutes that it's going to take to get built to 3 minutes. I can also click and drag and select these units that I built with my level 1. And if I right click, I can tell them to move and go somewhere. Or if I right click and drag, then they will make a formation of whatever formation it is that I've made up using my mouse. So I can click and drag, and I can do kind of a formation like this. And now they will all take their respective positions of whatever I've given them. So I didn't give the tier 2 a waypoint. So that's what these guys kind of look like. This guy's long range, shoots a big giant missile. This guy's long range. Your tier 2, depending on the type of unit, will typically be able to take out maybe 3 or 4 tier 1 guys on their own without having much trouble. Obviously they'll probably take some damage. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and if I click on my commander, I can right click on the experimental gantry, and I'm going to see if we can get this guy finished real fast by burning through all of our material. And now that we're out, that's not very helpful. So now I'm going to come recycle this leftover building that's just sitting here on the map. Now we've got a lot of extra material. I'll tell my commander to help build again. And it looks like I'm out of energy.
You're low on power.
Oh, and look at that.
T3 unit is ready.
So my enemy that I've selected is just a builder. He doesn't build any units. So this is the Titan. It shows he's out of power because I'm out of power and I didn't manage my power very well. But anyway, that concludes this tutorial. Wanted to kind of walk you through. The goal was to get you to go through Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3. And I'll be doing more of these tutorials again in the future because this game is just quite expansive. There's a lot that you can do with it, really layered. And for me, those are the type of games that I like, as long as they make sense and they're not absolutely ridiculous. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Talk to you guys next time.